love the Eagles as much as we do? Then hit that subscribe button and stick with us at Eagles Nest News for all the drama, updates, and hype all season long. The roar of the crowd at Lincoln Financial Field still echoes in your ears as Jalen Hurts strides onto the grass, eyes locked on the goal line, and determination radiating from every fiber of his being. From the moment he took the snap, there was a sense that this was no ordinary quarterback performance. This was an announcement to the entire league that he belongs among the game's elite. Yet, when a panel of experienced coaches, general managers, and scouts weighed in recently, Hurts found himself slotted behind names like Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, and even Jaden Daniels, an assessment that left many fans scratching their heads. How could a Super Bowl MVP, the architect of one of the most dominant running attacks in modern NFL history, be ranked only 9th at his position? Philadelphia's offense was nothing short of spectacular last season. They leaned into their ground and pound identity in a way few teams dare to. When most franchises would bail on the run at the first hint of resistance, the Eagles doubled down. 621 rushing attempts in 2024 led the entire league, nearly 70 more than the Ravens, the second most prolific ground game. Week after week, defenders braced themselves for the tush push at the goal line, a play that had become as inevitable as gravity itself. Under Hurts' leadership, short yardage situations transformed into highlight reel moments. Linebackers swallowed by a wall of green jerseys, the quarterback his own lead blocker, and the ball slamming over the line for yet another 6. And yet the narrative persists that Hurts somehow hides behind his rushing exploits. When the play clock ticks into single digits, defenses crowd the box, daring him to beat them through the air instead. Pass attempts for Philadelphia dipped to the lowest mark in the league, just 448 throws all year long. In a passing league defined by aerial fireworks, that number stands out like a lone voice in an empty stadium. Critics argue that without volume through the air, Hurts' passing resume lacks the gaudy sheer numbers of his peers. Fewest throws, fewer opportunities, but raw volume can be deceiving. Efficiency and context tell a different story. Those who watch Hurts closely note that beneath the punishing runs lies a quarterback whose arm has sharpened every season. Completion percentage over expected stood at plus 6.6, the best in the NFL. A testament to his accuracy and ability to find windows even when the pocket collapses. And when given the chance to stretch the field, he threads needles with a touch and timing that recall the great deep ball throwers of the past. Remember that spiral to Devonta Smith in the closing moments of Super Bowl Lele, arching majestically out through the New Orleans sky? It was a shot of pure artistry, a reminder that Hurts combines brute force with silk. When subjected to the harsh light of rankings, however, he is often overshadowed by quarterbacks who pass more often or fit traditional molds. Coaches on the voting panel lauded his clutch performances in the postseason, noting that big moments seem to magnify his talents rather than expose them. He raises his game when everything is on the line, one AFC evaluator said, yet even that praise translated to just a handful of votes placing him inside the top 5. Somehow, Jared Goff's quarterback rating, Justin Herbert's arm angle, Matthew Stafford's veteran savvy, and Jaden Daniels' rookie burst all edged out Hurts in the collective mind of the voters. Perhaps this snub speaks more to the evolving definitions of greatness at the position than to a shortcoming on Hurts' part. We live in an era obsessed with passing yardage, touchdown totals, and highlight reel throws. A quarterback who offers nearly as much value with his legs can feel like an anomaly, something to be admired, even feared, but ultimately difficult to slot neatly into preconceived rankings. While Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson each command headlines with their dual-threat prowess, Hurts has quietly built a resume that combines consistent efficiency, championship hardware, and an uncanny knack for short yardage domination unmatched by any passer before him. As we look ahead to the 2025 season, the question isn't so much whether Hurts has earned a higher spot in the hierarchy, it's whether the league's evaluators will catch up to the scoreboard. Last year's Super Bowl win and his streak of 4 straight seasons with double-digit rushing touchdowns form an ironclad case. He flaunts an MVP award and brings a mindset forged in adversity. If he falls behind in the rankings again, it will speak volumes about how rigidly traditional metrics still hold sway. Imagine a defense keyed fully on his dual threat ability, stacking 8 or 9 players in the box as they attempt to neutralize the ground game. Now picture Hurts calmly sidestepping pressure, lofting a perfect wheel route to his tight end, then breaking off a linebacker and sprinting untouched for a first down. That scenario played out more times in the playoffs than any fan could count, and it's the sort of performance that reshapes discussions overnight. Ranking him 9th ignores the way defenses must account for every inch he gains, every play he alters with his legs, and every deep shot he uncorks when given just a sliver of daylight. In the end, the rankings will reset again next offseason, and the same debates will flare anew. Will Hurts vault past those who passed him this time around? Can his passing volume grow without sacrificing the fearsome, rushing attack that defines him? These questions will hang over the Eagles' training camp like the Philadelphia skyline at dawn, promising, electric, and impossible to ignore. One thing is certain, no matter where the pundits place him on their lists, Jalen Hurts will prove his worth out on the field, one snap at a time, forcing everyone to watch as he reshapes what it means to be an elite quarterback in today's game. The stadium lights burn bright as Nick Sirianni steps onto the sideline, play sheet in hand, the very embodiment of Philadelphia's combustible energy. It wasn't always this way. When Sirianni arrived in 2021 as a relative unknown, questions swirled around whether his calm demeanor could survive the temperamental crucible of Philadelphia fandom. Early stumbles only fueled the doubt. A dismal 2-5. Start that first season had fans clamoring for change, voices echoing down Broad Street in a chorus of "not him." Yet even in those dark days, there was something quietly magnetic about the way he marshaled his troops. An unshakable belief that the next snap would herald a breakthrough. That breakthrough arrived with a vengeance. Sparks flew as the Eagles rattled off 7 straight wins to close out the year, punching their ticket to the postseason in dramatic fashion. Sirianni's measured guidance, his willingness to back his players even when the odds seemed insurmountable, created a locker room atmosphere where each man believed in the collective vision. It was more than X's and O's. It was a reassurance that no deficit was too large, no opponent too formidable. The city adopted him, grudgingly at first, then wholeheartedly as victories crept onto the board. The real test came under the brightest lights of the NFL, the Super Bowl. Against a seasoned opponent in Kansas City, Sirianni's schemes danced on the razor's edge between aggressive innovation and steadfast conservatism. He called plays that seemed to defy convention, trusting his young quarterback and a core of skilled players to execute with surgical precision. In defeat, lessons were learned. In victory, the following year, those lessons coalesced into championship. Gold! And with that triumph, the coach who once inspired skepticism now stood as a hero, his face plastered on banners, chants of his name reverberating through streets and pubs alike. Yet even amid the adulation, the narrative shifted when the playoffs ended. 2023 was a year that fans want to forget, a season whose bitter taste lingered long after the final whistle. Undefeated through 11 games, the Eagles seemed poised for another deep run, only to unravel spectacularly down the stretch. 6 losses in 7 outings, a collapse that left questions hanging in the air. Had Sirianni lost the locker room? Had his bold approach exposed chinks in the armor? Critics pounced, arguing that his loyalty to coordinators and schemes had grown from strength into stubbornness, that the fiery spirit he once ignited had turned smoldering. When the calendar flipped to 2024, the heat was on. Sirianni faced a defining offseason, one in which personnel changes and schematic tweaks would either redeem or tarnish his reputation forever. The front office answered with decisive moves, new faces in the coordinator suites, fresh perspectives to reinvigorate a once dominant unit. Through it all, Sirianni remained unflappable, issuing measured reflections on film sessions, demanding accountability without yielding to panic. His message was clear. Greatness is not an entitlement, but a habit cultivated through relentless focus and adaptation. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has taken NFL circles by storm, whispers are growing louder out of Philadelphia. ZACH ERTZ may be returning to the Eagles. Though the team has yet to issue an official confirmation, sources close to the situation suggest that a reunion between the veteran tight end and the franchise where he once became a household name is all but finalized. If true, it would mark a stunning chapter in what has already been an unpredictable offseason for the Birds. The potential return of Ertz, now 34, has ignited speculation among fans and analysts alike. Once a central figure in Philly's offense and a key contributor in the team's Super Bowl LII triumph, Ertz has spent the last few seasons bouncing around the league, including a stint with the Arizona Cardinals and a brief appearance with the Detroit Lions practice squad. Many believed his days in Midnight Green were a thing of the past, but if recent reports are to be believed, the Eagles may see a renewed value in his veteran presence, particularly as a mentor to the younger players and a reliable red zone target. With Dallas Goedert firmly entrenched as the team's TE1, a returning Ertz wouldn't be expected to carry the same load he once did. Still, his chemistry with quarterback Jalen Hurts and his deep familiarity with the Eagles' offensive structure could make him a valuable piece, especially in high-pressure situations. The move, if confirmed, would come amid rising expectations for the Eagles to make a deep playoff push this season. While the front office has made it clear they're looking for experience and leadership, the Ertz rumor raises questions about roster flexibility and cap space and the team's long-term plan at tight end. Could this be a strategic depth move, a symbolic homecoming, or perhaps just smoke without fire? Whatever the case, Philadelphia is buzzing once again with the name ZACH ERTZ, proving that in the NFL, past chapters are never quite closed. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.